What happens when your worst fear becomes your reality? Hi, I'm Brent Cassidy. Welcome to the Nightmare Success In and Out podcast, where we explore how to overcome your fears and nightmares to set yourself free. We're going to be exploring this topic with guys I was in Leavenworth with and others who served at other prisons. We're going to be talking about life before prison, life in prison, and life out of prison. These stories can be inspiring, sometimes sad. There's some humor, but hopefully you can come away with a nugget of something that will help you knock down some of the prisons you've built up in your own mind. Folks, today I've got with me Jordan Markell and Wendy Watson.
Low-key money.
And the cool thing is, we're doing a double here, and this is the first time we've had a female on Nightmare Success In and Out. So Wendy, welcome to that.
Thank you. Breaking down barriers.
Breaking down barriers. That's exactly right. Jordan, I'm going to play a little bit of Jordan's music. Jordan, I met through a friend of mine, Gina, and come to find out this guy can sing. He's a rapping fool, man. So I'm gonna feed you guys some of this. You ready?
Money on the train beat, baby, smoke drone. She say she love the fuck, but she not a hoe. She say she love the D, got a long way. Matter of fact, they call her young nigga, that pee we long way. Baby, smoke drone. She say she love the fuck, but she not a hoe. She say she love the D, got a long way. Matter of fact, they call her young nigga.
Got some really cool cars and women and fire in this video too.
Got bad bitches and they all sniffing white bricks. You want a lame nigga? They all in the bed and guaranteeing all them pussy ass niggas trap. I've been doing this fucking shit from the get go. These niggas ask me where I'm from that MO. We popping bottles of them bitches for the low. She ready it over, popping that ass. We call it go. Baby, smoke drone. She say she love the fuck, but she not a hoe. Say she love the D, got a long way. Matter of fact, they call her young nigga, that pee we long way. Baby, smoke drone. Say she love the fuck, but she not a hoe. Say she love the D, got a long way. Matter of fact, they call her young nigga, that pee we long way. She getting it. All up in the club, got a nigga head spinning. But I don't know nothing, and I ain't saying shit. And matter of fact, my nigga, have you seen my bitch? Cause I don't know.
Guys, I've just given you a taste. So, Jordan, wow, good stuff, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can sing, man.
Appreciate it.
And you've got a big photo. You got a video coming up. Is it the February 29th or January 29th?
January 29th. And I also have another YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers.
Love that.
Over.
Tell me, man, how did you build that up like that? A lot of people say I got shooting for 1,000. I've got 50 people. I've got 100 people. How in the hell did you get 1 million people looking at your stuff?
Well, I tell you like this. I'm going to do a shout out to two wonderful, wonderful beings and subjects. One, God, number one. Always number one. And then number two is the laws of attraction.
Got it.
That's how I did it, And with all that being said, just being nice overall, Once upon a time, like the whole world, man, like we have so much negative energy on this planet. It's kind of hard to wake up and realize like which one to turn off and turn on, That's why you try to surround yourself with the same people that's like you. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like how it all started, laws of attraction, Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey, it's so many people. It's some
cool stuff. You sent it to me, and I checked it all out. And it's all about mindset and surrounding yourself with people who can help you make a difference. But you've got to be in the right mindset.
Yes.
And, talking around this table here, all of us have been to prison. And we're all sitting here on the other side of this. Wendy?
Yes.
I've not talked to somebody who's gone to a woman's prison, but take me back a little bit. How did you grow up in St. Louis?
I grew up in St. Charles.
Yeah.
I'm an only child.
Yeah.
It wasn't the smoothest growing up. My mom was my mom was a peach.
Okay.
Put it like that.
Peach.
She was just a peach. And so there weren't a lot of expectations for me growing up. There wasn't, go to college, go do this. It was just like, you'll be lucky if you graduate high school.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where
Not pumping you up.
Yeah, we were.
Not guiding you.
No, there was none of that. We were joking around the other day. My brother was in the car, and we were talking about how my dad would give me weed to sell at school.
Right.
And, I have kids that are now in high school, and, maybe that's not the best parenting plan that you could have, but it seemed
Did it seem weird to you when that was going on in high school? Because high school is a weird time,
Yeah.
You're always trying to find your way and get with your people and all that stuff. I mean, did that seem weird to you that Dad's giving me weed?
It didn't seem weird at the time because it was what I grew up with.
Okay.
I grew up in that kind of environment, so I didn't know that it was going to be weird.
Okay.
It's only now in hindsight where I have, now that I'm a parent and I have children that age, wow, that was really fucked up.
Yeah.
That was really what
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine giving my 14-year-old.
Did your people, your friends, think that was probably because you had that, you were cool?
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, so you ran as the cool kid because your dad was...
Because I always had weed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was your high school, Dad giving you weed and you being the person who was the cool kid that had weed. Jordan, what were you doing and when you're growing up? What's happening with you?
Oh, shit, man.
What's the young Jordan do?
Well, the young Jordan... I was a viral pimp.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was hustling and pimping and playing and having fun. I was enjoying my best life.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Who did you hang out with?
Me.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah.
Me and music. I like myself.
Music always in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, music played a earlier part, family going through shit and wouldn't tell me about it. I'd just hear screaming and screaming and screaming. And so I would lock myself in my room and just put on music. And
that was your escape.
Yeah, it didn't matter what it was. It can be gospel, rap, country, this, that.
Yeah.
That's how I did it.
Yeah.
So I was my own friend, more or less.
Interesting. And as you got older, were there other people that you found that had similar interests and got you more into music as a group, or was it something you kept to yourself?
Well, it's a mixture of both of it. I can't think of the music artists at this time.
Were you an only child too?
No, I have a sister.
Sister, okay.
Yeah, and I'm Creole. I'm light skinned. I'm mixed with Indian, European, African American. Well, my
George's a good-looking guy. We give him that.
Well, thank you so much.
I mean, we'll give him right up front. Whatever that mixture is, it's working.
If anybody could see,
Indian, Asian, black.
Hey,
if you could see the dimples, you would want to take a nap in them.
So, but my sister,
and he can sing.
Yeah, and my
my
sister, she's dark skinned, so it would be like a little joke. Me and I found it funny. She's dark skinned, I'm light skinned. So anytime she pissed me off, I'm like, man, guess what? You're a fucking adopted because you're darker than me.
Oh, no.
But you know what? Kind of find out is so many people that says the same shit as kids. Yeah.
So, what were your parents like?
Whoa.
Were they giving you weed?
No. My mom was beating my ass in the shower because I was used to it out of the shower.
Yeah.
So she's like, we gotta try something new. So she caught my ass in the shower. But my dad, now here's kind of where it goes a little bit south. But my father, well, I'm not gonna even call him my father. I would just say a sperm donor.
Okay.
He wound up shooting my mom while she was pregnant with me.
Oh.
Because
You mean really shooting? Like a bullet?
He shot her in the head.
What?
And her mom, which is my grandmother, rest in peace, she didn't believe it. She didn't think it was him, and it's so long of a story. But long story short, he was hiding in the bushes across the street and shot, and actually made it through the window and shot my mom in the head while she was pregnant with me.
And she survived.
Yeah, and here's a crazier story. I was in prison. I found out where he was and his phone number, and I actually got a hold of his mom, and she welcomed me in what's that country song with All Arms or something like that? I forgot who sung that.
Open Arms.
Open Arms.
Open Arms, right. But anyway, so I met his mom, and we got really cool, so I wound up getting his number through her. So I called him, collect, and he was like, hello? I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Who is this? I said, this your son. Which one? I'm like, damn.
So,
but I never.
So there's a bunch of them. All right. All right.
I said, this is your firstborn.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't know what to say. It's nice to meet you. I'm like, okay, well, where do you want to go from here? He said, man, you too old now. I can't tell you nothing. And he hung up on me.
Wow. And Jordan, how old would you have been when that was the phone conversation, you think?
21 years old.
21.
I'll never forget it.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I vow to be father to my kids.
Yeah, no, and I think that goes back to, the type of things that you sent me about the laws of attraction, that you don't choose your parents, but it's how you deal with that and how you grow from it and what you choose to make of it. And
because one thing I learned in life, our parents look to us for advice too, because the world has changed since they had us. Yeah. And it's so many things that evolve and transform that they were like, damn, I didn't know for cell phones you can actually look at it. You know what I mean? And take a picture and shit. Yeah. So the way I adapted it, like I showed my mom things, and she the one actually showed me laws of attraction. Yeah. That's cool. And it worked. So she introduced you to that. Yeah. Yeah. While I was actually in prison. In prison. Well, let's talk about that. When those days happen, when you feel like, you've hit the wall and that you're going to do time. Wendy, you went to Vandalia. And Jordan, you just told me for the first time that that's pink. That the prison is pink. Yeah.
The prison is a dirty, dingy pink color.
And so did you know, I don't know about your situation and what happened and however much you want to share with that.
Sure.
Did you know that whatever happened was going to be prison time, or were you thinking it was just a bad mistake situation and this is all going to work itself out?
So maybe. Like, I kind of knew, but didn't really understand the severity. So, I don't share my crime very often.
Yeah, you tell me what you want to tell me.
I'll tell you.
We're going to go deep here, I guess.
Yeah. So I was raped and got pregnant and was pregnant from that. And I had planned.
What age would you have been?
I was 23.
Okay.
I didn't even know I was pregnant for the first 5 months. And I was like, that's not possible.
Yeah.
But I was a heroin addict. So the theory
was this somebody you knew through the drug trade?
Yeah. 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 It was somebody I was familiar with. I didn't know them, but I was familiar with them. Yeah. So I had made arrangements when I had found out that I was pregnant to adopt the baby out. It was going to be an open adoption. Beautiful, beautiful family in Florida. And my peach of a mom, when I went into labor, I had called the family and told them, fly up, it's time. They got here, and my mom at the bottom of security told them, or at the front door at the hospital had told them that I had decided to keep the baby.
Really?
And then my mom came upstairs and told me that she had decided not to take the baby. So now I'm a 23-year-old heroin addict, homeless, with a baby. There was no baby shower. There was none of that. So we had 2 days to get everything together for a baby. I almost immediately started using drugs again because I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to be a mom. That's why I had made the arrangements that I had. Yeah. And
what was going through your mind with all this? I had to be a lot of stress.
A lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs. Yeah. Really, there was no kind of connection between him and I. Yeah. I had decided that I had relinquished, that emotional, the compartment, and that's what I just had to do to get through it. And then when it was decided that he was coming home, it was like, oh fuck, what do I do? What do I do with this baby? Like,
it's a human being that's relying on everything. Everything.
Right. And I had no support. Like my family wasn't, my mom wasn't
you're
supportive.
On your own.
I'm.
Where are you living?
I was house hopping.
Wow.
My parents would let me stay there every once in a while, but not enough to really make it matter. So.
Minor interruption. So she was living in the hood of St. Louis.
Yeah. Not yet. I wasn't there yet.
And now you live in Clayton.
I know.
It's a big jump.
So I, one day I was very high on heroin, and I worked at the daycare where my son went every day. Like I worked there also.
Okay.
So my parents had these giant Irish setters, and they came running through. My son was sitting on the floor. I was high as fuck. And is cursing okay?
Oh yeah. Okay. It's not explicit.
Sorry.
Don't worry about that.
Sorry. The dogs came running through, and I spilled boiling water on them. So obviously I call 911, you know, the whole thing. This is in March. Nothing happens. I'm at work. I'm at the daycare one day. You know, he was in the hospital for several days, and it was it was awful. It was a day in May. I was at work, and 2 detectives came in and said, "We're arresting you. The state of Missouri picked this up as a state case of child endangerment in the 1st degree." And I said, "Please don't take me out of this daycare in handcuffs." Like, I'm a teacher at this.
Right.
Like, you know, I work with 4 and 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Even though I'm high on heroin every day, you know, like.
But you were functioning.
I was totally functioning
on heroin.
I had a job the entire time.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Yeah, thank you. That's my hustle.
To each his own.
So my case got drug out forever and ever and ever. You know, my white privilege stepped in, and my grandparents paid for an amazing lawyer and, you know, drug it out. But I would go to court high every day. Every time I had court, I was high as fuck. My lawyer would be like, "You got to be kidding me. I'm going to need you to do better."
Yeah.
Like,
we really need you to step up.
We need you to be able to stand up in front of the judge. We just need you standing.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't.
Help me help you.
Right. Like, you're not making this any easier on me. Yeah. So I wasn't making it easier, and I finally got told that I was going to have to turn myself in on March 18th, 2004. And
then what happened to your little boy?
He went with my mom.
Okay.
And my mom, when I got out, my mom brought my son to visit me every week. Tell
me a little bit about, because I want to, you know, that whole experience of
women go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So you've been through a lot before you ever stepped through the doors of this prison. Yeah. What was life like? Did you go from county to Vandalia?
I was in county for 4 days before I got transferred to Vandalia.
Okay.
It was almost comforting to know that I didn't have to look for dope.
Yeah.
I knew I was just going to be really sick for a couple weeks, and then I was going to be fine, which I didn't have that opportunity on the streets to do. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't. I'd been in and out of drug treatments, you know, court-ordered drug treatment. I just couldn't do it. So there was almost kind of a big sigh to know that I was away from my mom, who just...
So you were losing a lot of the pressures from the outside as you walked through the doors.
And I knew that if I didn't do what I needed to do this time, like, this was the last time that anybody was ever going to... There weren't going to be another lawyer next time.
Right.
There wasn't going to be any of that. Like, if I didn't get it together this time, there was no more times.
So you were thinking all those things.
Yes.
I've got to get my act together.
I have to get my shit together.
I've got to get my act together in a state prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like?
Well, I mean, which parts?
Well,
there were lots of...
I know we get to the good shit.
It's an open-ended question, I know. But, I mean, had you been in a...
No, I had never even been to county until I got put in county.
Hey, you ready for this? Tell him about the lookout.
I'll get to that story. I'm not a good lookout, apparently.
I guess not.
You know, you walk in... And the very first thing that you do is you have to, you strip down.
Yeah, dehumanize you.
Right. And, there's something very weird. You're different. You're men. You don't have as many parts. We have to lift parts and, just.
It's still equal. It's
very humbling.
It's very, no, not disregarding.
It's the same shit.
Same
feels
shit.
Bad.
Yeah,
it feels really bad.
Yeah.
It's just a really shitty feeling.
Yeah.
And so, the first night, I don't know if this happens in men's prison, but in women's prison at night, you hear women crying. Mm-hmm. That's all you hear is women crying.
They worry about the kids and shit, right?
They're worried about their kids. A lot of them had other cases they were still waiting on hearing about.
Yeah. Just a lot of sadness.
Yeah. A sadness in a way that you wouldn't get out here. There were pregnant women who were giving birth. Mm-hmm. You'd see women getting taken across the yard to have their babies. Yeah. Or people going into labor while you're at your work job. Mm. That's a weird, and then they come back 2 days later and there's no baby, obviously, and it's like some of these women didn't have places for their children to go. And this is a really weird fact. I don't know if you know this, but in the state of Missouri, if you don't have a parent or a legal guardian to step up to raise the baby that you've had while you're in prison, they go to an Amish community. Mm. And if you're, this is not a joke. And if you're incarcerated for more than a year, you automatically lose your parental rights and the Amish can keep your children.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I ain't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, girls don't go to prison.
That's a big, deterrent. Okay. So as stepping into this, you went through probably 2 or 3 weeks of hell just to get everything out of your system.
Yeah, there's a fun way to do that. I don't recommend it. I was in the psychiatry. You go through R&O, right? Like registration and orientation. Mm-hmm. And you get, you go to the dentist and you make sure you got all your TB tests and all of that. And I went through the psychiatry appointment and I was like, I just need to sleep. Like, I just want to sleep. Tell me how I can get, like, I just, like,
can I
sleep?
Right. Like, I just want to sleep. I just want to be able to fucking sleep. And so they were like, well, the only place you can really sleep is the hole. And I was like, okay, well, can I go there? Like, what do I have to do to go there?
Not too many people ask or request that one.
I just wanted to fucking lay down.
That's what's up.
And so he goes, well,
you can sleep there. That's for sure.
It's a hotel.
In fact, that's all you can do.
I picked up a stapler and I threw it across the room.
Yeah.
And he hit the button. And he goes, you got what you wanted. And I was like, thank you, fucking Jesus. I didn't know I was going to be there naked. But wait, there was a caveat to that. I did not know I was not going to be allowed sheets or clothing. Oh. Because it was a psych. Yeah. So I didn't know that was going to happen.
So
but
you had the turtle suit.
Yeah.
I was literally naked for 2 straight weeks, sleeping with the lights on and no sheet.
That doesn't sound good.
So it was a trade-off, I guess.
So you were there for 2 weeks in the hole?
I was in the hole for 2 weeks.
That's a hell of an entry into prison.
Yeah, I felt like I could do anything.
Wow. So Jordan, let me catch up with you. I mean, we caught up on a little bit when before the podcast, but your thing kind of just happened, didn't it? I mean, you were living your life and running with your friends, and you get invited to a party, and things get different when you wake up the next day.
Man, I tell you what. We're going to fast forward to move back. I hopped out of prison running really fucking fast. Now I got Lambos and mansions and this and that and everything. Like Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. So stay out.
Stay out. Freedom's good.
Right. Now, my situation, it is kind of crazy.
Had you ever had any other situations that you'd been in, or was this like all of a sudden the situation and it was a bad one?
Nah, as a youth or as an adult?
I mean, this happened to you probably when you were 19 or 20?
Yeah.
Was there was nothing as serious as what we're describing right now that happened?
No.
Yeah.
Not ever in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen things.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, where did you grow up? What part of St. Louis?
So I grew up in O'Fallon Place, and so now it's called, what is it called? Something Places or something like that. Because they're trying to change.
It's on the north side of St. Louis.
North side of St. Louis. The bad stuff.
Yeah. So they basically trying to like transition the city, move all the black folks. What do you call that?
Gentrification.
Thank you.
It's a big name. Yeah. Big word. Mm-hmm. That's a college word. Yeah.
Thank you. But, I learned it at WashU.
But yeah, like
we're gonna get into that.
Thank you.
I grew up in the hood. I was stepping over dead bodies. Like I would never forget that.
So you saw a lot of people shot up.
Hell yeah.
A lot of.
Yeah, it got to the point. I'm like, okay, where's the? Okay, well, I got to go inside now. It's time to eat.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever? Did you run with a bad group, or did you? I mean, how does that work? Or did you feel like you were trying to get to? I mean, because all this stuff is you now.
Mm-hmm. That's what made me who I am.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid,
I don't think you intentionally seek out the wrong people.
No.
People you think.
I think there's people though that
trouble.
you. I think there's things that you can get confused with, thinking that somebody's very cool or a mentor, but you don't know that it's possibly wrong.
One thing I learned in life is that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything, good and bad.
Yeah.
But no, so back on to what you asked that. But when I was a kid, like I said, I had so many problems going on. My mom got shot by me when she was pregnant. I didn't have that many friends, but I had this one really big fat friend. His name was Spud.
Okay.
And he wound up sitting on my Sega Genesis and breaking that motherfucker. And then my mom got mad at me, and I told him that he did it, so I didn't. So
you get trouble.
But I wound up telling him, I'm like, man, as a kid, like what I was going through, and so we stayed in the projects, and we all used to be playing basketball right in the parking lot, and the dumpster was right down the street. Mm-hmm. So he was like, man, come outside with me one day. Keep in mind, we young as hell. I think it was like about 13 or something. 12, 13, 14, 15 maybe. And so he's like, man, come outside. And I didn't think shit about it, but I didn't know somebody that he told his friends about me in our hood. Mm-hmm. So he said, come outside one day. So I go over his house, knock on the door, and I like nudge him and shit like, bro, you just broke my Sega, bro. I'm not going to fit that shit. He's like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. My mom got mad at me. Mm-hmm. So he said, man, I want you to meet some people. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go around the corner from the trash can, and it was a group of dudes, and it's like one chick over there, and I remember I'm going up to them, and they was like, hey, man, Spud told me all about you, man. You want to hang out with us? I'm like, why not? Mm-hmm. I don't have a fucking dad. I'm just literally out here as a kid, as a teenager. So they said, well, man, listen, so one thing about us, we are Bloods. I don't know if you ever heard about Bloods, man, but we'll take care of you, man. We make sure you eat, make sure you feel good, and if you have any problem, man, we got your back. So I'm like, okay, cool. He said, but no. It's not that simple.
That easy.
It's not that simple, a nigga. So I'm like, okay, well, shit, like what I gotta do, what's up? He said, well, first, we need you to do a couple things, and it was different, you know what I mean? It was things I never seen as a kid. My dad never showed me this shit because he wasn't there. He never showed me what the hell goes on in the streets. But I wound up doing it. It's some things that I wish I can take back to this day. But, like I said, everything happens for a reason.
No, and it's tough, Jordan.
I wind up doing it.
Yeah, because, I mean, even in the gang life, within the prisons, there
it's always some type of.
There's something that the shot caller's going to tell you something that you don't want to do because you're the low man on the totem pole,
and then you eventually be the top guy.
And it's an ugly pressure packed situation, and I know it's a tough life because I know a couple of guys that actually lived that life, and my bunkmate was the first guy I met.
Here's another one.
Yeah, but. So fast forwarding to your situation that you got into that cost you 8-10 years of your life. Yeah. And it sounded like that just all happened so quick. Yeah. Can you walk us through a little bit of that day? What happened?
You talking about when I caught my charges and shit?
When you actually went to that party and you woke up, and all of a sudden,
that was a fun
you got
day.
helicopters, you got sirens, you got.
That was a fun day, man. So fun fact about me, and all that it leads up to who I am.
Yeah.
But fun fact about that, when I was young, I didn't know what white girls was. I didn't know what white dudes was. I never seen it. But my mom always wanted the better for me and my sister. So she would send us out to Sperry Middle School, Lindbergh High School.
Sounds like a good mom.
Oh, they're really good. Truman Elementary.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, damn. So I walk in first grade, and I see my first grade teacher, Miss Manton, white girl. I'm like, holy shit. Damn, you got a different color. I'm like, all right, well, damn. That's I said, so I'm like, damn, like, I think this is like where I want to be at, you know what I mean? You know, because
it felt different.
Yeah, being locked in a race for so long, especially at that age, like you don't see different. You don't see Chinese, you don't see Mexicans. Well, you see them cutting grass. Like, no offense to the Mexicans, man, y'all are dope as fuck. I love you, but you know, you just don't see that as growing up. But I seen her, and I'm like, okay, well, damn, that's what's up. So now move that all the way forward to what you're saying today. Ask me again. I got a little
I was just saying that what the story you told me, it was like you were at a party, you woke up the next day, and the next thing you know.
Yeah, so, okay, so with that party, so now this is me finna get to meet a white girl, you know what I mean? I'm old enough to drive and all this other type of shit, so, I mean, that shit felt so fucking good, like, I would never take that back, even though it was a long fucking time. I still would never take it back, because it made me who I am today. So anyways, I'm driving down the street one day. I think it was South Grand, and I heard this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm in a red light, and so the light turned green. I drive down the street. Next thing I knew, a car pulled up beside me, and it was a chick. She like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up? I'm high as fuck, and I'm drunk, and I'm young. What's up? She's like, no, okay, well,
probably thought you hit her car or something.
Right? I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But she's like, well, my name is Abby. And she had a black Cadillac, dog. So she listened to her music and shit. I'm like, damn, I'm like, wait, what the? I'm like, cool. What's up? No, fuck. That's later on. It was a bigger girl. I'm getting my stories mixed up, but it means something. So I wound up getting her phone number. We wound up hanging out, and then she's like, well, you know what? Let's go to Arnold, man. Let's go out, hang out. Like, my friend has this party going on, and let's go out there. I'm like, okay, let's go. So we wound up going out to her friend party, and I met Abby. So this is Abby's parents' house. So I'm like, damn, it's like a lot of white people in this motherfucker. I'm like, damn, I like this shit. Like, the music's good, the drink's good, the white dude's cool with me, you know, being black. Keep in mind, this is a long time ago, so St. Louis is the last slave state. So I kind of felt out of place. But I wound up bringing my friend with me just so, just in case
like
anything happened wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so we wind up hanging out the party. You know, everybody's drunk as fuck. Now it's getting about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the lights just start shutting off. So I'm like, damn, everybody's partying up with somebody. I find this abandoned room, and so I open the door, and nobody was in there. I'm like, hello? So I wind up, I say, fuck it. So I lay on the bed, pass out, and then next thing I smelled was breakfast. And then I heard the door open up. She's like, hey, we got, you know, breakfast downstairs. You know, if you want to come down and, like, hang out with us, you know, before you guys go or whatever, like, it's fine. It's all good. That was her friend saying that, not Abby. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, you know. So my hand's hanging off the bed, and I look over, and I see this green box with Army numbers on it. And I'm like, damn, this shit look kind of, what's in this box? So I open up the box, and it's a metallic purple and green or gray color revolver, 357. And it had a couple bullets inside the box, man, just to show it's a gun that's in there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, bet. I can get this gun, probably shoot a couple times and sell it. So I'm like, fuck, I'm finna get the gun. So I get the gun out the box, get a couple bullets that's out the box, and I look up under the bed just in case I miss something. I see a couple boxes of shells. So I grab the motherfucking suit. So now my pants sagging all the way to the fucking kitchen where everybody's eating fucking breakfast and shit, and I see my friend over there. So I'm like, hey, bro, we got to go. we got to get out. He's like, what you talking about, brother? Like, this bacon hella fire, nigga, get you a plate. I'm like, man, I can't do that, man. We got to get the fuck out of here. So I kind of like pulled up my shirt a little bit, man, showed him the burner. And he was like, yeah, man, bro, we got to go. So I wound up telling the big girl, she was already cool with that because I guess she was already a hoe back in the day, so she didn't give a hell about me, and she already. So I wound up telling Abby, now that I met, I'm like, hey man, we gotta leave. Do me a favor, man. I know it's your house, man. Can let your friends like hang out and like, can you just take me and my friend home in St. Louis, Southside? Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, bad, let's roll. So we all get in the car, go back to the South Side, drop us off, and then later on that day, she said, I got to work, but, you know, if you need my car, you can have it, you know, and just pick me up later. So I'm like, cool. And so right around that time, the big girl called me. She said, hey, my little brother wants his haircut. Can you please come out here and, like, trim him up a little bit? I'm like, I don't care. I got Abby's car and shit. She's like, I don't care. Abby's good friends. So me and my friend wound up going back out to her little brother CJ's mom's house or grandma's house, wherever you say that. But I didn't know that Arnold people back then.
So you headed back to Arnold.
Yeah, to go cut CJ's hair. Yeah. But so the only reason why Arnold guys had a problem with us, it wasn't even just white or black thing. It was both of them because we were not from there. Yeah. So we driving down the street. Next thing and it's a hot summer day, man. I'm playing 3-6 Mafia. He in the passenger seat. We both over her bumping and shit, you know. So we finally get a block away from their house. Windows down. We having fun. Sunglasses on. Like we're doing like the whole Soldier Boy thing. Mm-hmm. Like we hip. And then next thing I know, I'm like, wait, what the hell was that? So I look over to my passenger side, and it's a whole Mexican pizza on my friend's face. You know, and then some got on my shoulder. Yeah. So I'm like, wait, dude, like we already drunk as fuck, we high as hell. Like, what the fuck?
Now he's been hit with a Taco Bell Mexican pizza.
Like, what
That's
the
my
fuck
dream.
Yeah. Those are good.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
You know,
but you don't want to wear it, I guess.
Right. And so now we witnessed that shit. Now we don't know what the hell going on, but I'm slowing down. Like my natural instinct is let off the gas and slow down and see what the hell, just to reevaluate what the hell just happened. Mm-hmm. So I look, I'm like, man, the motherfucker just hit us, dog. Like, yeah, bro, what you want to do? I don't know. We got the gun in the backseat or trunk. He's like, shit, what you want to do? I like, what you want to do? What you want? Oh, all right, bet. So let's pull around the corner, man. So we parked the car, load up the 357, brand new gun, man, from the Army, so I know that this motherfucker worked. So we go back around the corner, and little homie was, my wannabe homie was a little crip, but, you know, but it was a red rag in the back seat. So we like, man, hey, bro, can I use your rag, man, to wrap around the gun, man? And because I don't want to get hurt. I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead. So I'm driving. So now we playing 3-6 Mafia if you're not from around hood. Mm-hmm. Good song, man. Look it up. But so now we driving down the street. It's hella people's on the front porch. It was women, men, all ages. You know, it was like a little festival going on over there. So we wind up playing this song loud. I'm like, man, go. So we load it up, pop, 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 and then we speed off. So I'm like, man.
Which was shot into the
house where all them people was at, where that shit came in.
Did it hit anybody?
So that's where we're going to get in next. So I'm like, man, look, dude, well, I guess I'm not finna cut her today, bro.
I mean, that's really the drive-by shooting that you see that is on movies.
Right. And then, so there's a Walgreens around the corner. So we pull around the back of the Walgreens in the parking lot. So there was a bush of trees over here and plants and all this other shit. I say, man, wipe that shit off, wipe your hand off, throw it. So we did all that, hit the highway. And so now I'm calling Abby on the phone. I'm like, bro, like, hey, babe, the cops are behind us. She, what? What the fuck? My mom's going to kill me. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. So by that time, you know, there was all this shit going on. He's in passenger seat telling me to go faster and faster, faster. I'm like, man, her car doesn't go that fucking fast, bro. They can kill us. So I wound up pulling over, you know, and all I heard was, stick her hands out the car. I drop the phone at the fucking window right now. So I did all that shit. His hands over there, my hands over here, you know, and then they pull up, you know, and Arnold police back then said, you fucked up, nigga. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, bro. So they wind up separating us. He's going one car, I'm in another car. But ironically, he pulls off his cop car pulled off faster than mine and me and my cop. So I'm like, damn, where the fuck they going? You know what I mean?
What's he saying?
Yeah. So, so the cop wound up telling me the whole fucking time I'm in the car, you know you fucked up. You know you fucked up. You know you fucked up. So I'm like, I guess I fucked up. So we wind up going to the cop station. I'm sitting in the detective's office. He's sitting across from me like you are right now.
Yeah.
And then so where's the gun at? I'm like, I don't know no gun, man. What you talking? Where's the gun at, son? I don't know. I don't know. Where's the gun at? I said, bro, I don't know where the fuck the gun's at. So he said, okay, well, so he put his hand up in front of me, but looking behind me to somebody else to come here. Mm-hmm. So my back's turned while this other cop come around and he flips down the Ziploc bag with the motherfucking gun. Oh, I'm like,
ain't that a bitch?
Bruh. Mm. So I get back to the jail cell and I'm like, bro, like, where they find the gun at? He said, I'm sorry, bro, man. They said they'll give me a less time.
Yeah.
I said, all right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to see you later when we get there, all right?
Wow.
Low key.
So, you guys you've gone 2 weeks in the hole.
Yeah.
Jordan, you end up, where do you go?
So I started off at Bonser,
Okay.
and it was locked down and shit. I mean, if you could pick a crumb of weed off the floor, that costs about $20 to $30 in prison.
Okay.
So, and back then I did smoke weed, but I kind of didn't want that shit no more. You know what I mean? Because like now I'm going through a whole lot of shit. I got to stay focused. I got to get my life together. Like what the hell's going on in this bitch? Like I don't know where I'm at. I don't know these people. I just know I got to stick your chest out. You know what I mean? And do what you got to do.
Well, and you're charged with 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at, I mean, in prison, if you look at 10 years, I mean, that's suffocating. You got to think of, okay, what am I going to what am I going to do today to get through today? Because 10 years is a long time. It's too long to think. Did you know people in there?
No.
Nobody?
No, I met my friend, Jason, great. Yeah.
All
but,
right.
it was a very different experience,
What kind of strategies do you guys use when you were in prison? Because, I mean, there's bad days in prison. You feel like you're not attached to anybody from the outside. Like, how'd you get through? Like, what was your?
You gotta pick a trade.
Yeah.
You had to pick a trade, whether it's drawing pictures.
Yeah, you better have a hobby.
Making cards, or if you see some other person that get off the bus, we call it the Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Then if any of us on the yard now that we all homies and shit, that we feel like we can get some free money from like a little nerd that get off the bus who didn't know better, then that's what we had to do to survive. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was a learning experience. Did
you guys have prison jobs?
Yeah, I was picking up cigarette butts.
You were picking up cigarette butts. That doesn't sound like a very good prison job. What
I had
about you,
several
Wendy?
prison
Well,
jobs.
other dudes had to clean the shower. They had pecker nets in that mug. You hear me? Like little flies and shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather pick up cigarette butts.
All right, I get that. Wendy, what about you?
I had several prison jobs. They only got progressively better. I had goals.
All right.
So I started at clothing, where I only made $7.50 a month.
Okay. Big money.
Big money. Little fun fact, I shaved my head the day before I went into prison so I wouldn't have to buy shampoo and conditioner.
A lot of people do that on the boys' side, but I didn't know the girls do that.
Yeah.
You thought my story was good.
Yeah.
Tell them about yours.
Which one?
The Lookout.
Hold on, I'll get to that.
It's a little foreshadowing. So
then
you were in the clothing.
I worked in clothing, and then I worked as a mechanic on the perimeter cars.
Really?
The girls do all the maintenance on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can change oil.
That's
and
cool.
I can shine a 12-gun shotgun.
Yeah. I
12
can't do any of that.
Shotgun.
Impressed the hell out of me. Yeah.
And then I ended up in rec. So
Okay.
I ran.
Rec's a good job.
Rec was the best job.
Yeah.
I always got leftovers from the COs. They would bring them in for work, and they didn't eat them, so I had like a smorgasbord.
There was a guy that was at Leavenworth, and his name was L, and I never know what the rest of his name was, but he'd been there forever, and he had that rec job, and so he had a room maybe this size, but he had like he had a little TV.
Yeah.
And everybody, for rec, anything you needed, you'd have to go to him and stand in front of his door, and but L, he was cool, man. In fact, he was Michael Vick's roommate, and then Michael Vick left, and then L left about a year before I got out. But anyway, I remember the wreck job with Elle because everybody was like, man, Elle's like been here forever. Some of us has got the best job.
Yeah, there was only 2 jobs. There was only 2 positions. You had to interview for them.
Yeah.
You had to like write a statement. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing some big shit. I got paid like $72 a month.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's big pay.
I got Velveeta cheese slices and Welch's grape soda for days.
Well, I mean, my job was I worked at the food warehouse and we fed, I think, 2,200 people a day. So I got forklift certified. I could drive a forklift. I was the clerk, so all the inventory that came in there. But the fun thing that I had was we had a really fancy refrigerated truck. So I got to drive that big truck. And, you know, to drive the big truck, you had to figure out how to back that thing up because you had to just use mirrors. And, you know, then you had that automatic pallet jack that got under everything, and you had this little ramp. So obviously we had time to get good at it, but I did like driving the truck. I mean,
I never got to drive anything.
It was a little bit of a freedom thing, you know.
Oh, that wreck job! You couldn't tell me nothing with my wreck job.
Oh yeah,
and I would get up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Leave my cell, go spend the whole day in the rec room.
In the rec room.
Because that was my job.
Sure.
I could hang out there and not come back until, medline at 8.
You had your own space.
Yeah.
You know, prison is all about space, you know, where you sit and where you eat and where you work and what your space is when you do that. And people don't really understand that so much that from the outside, but in the inside, it's I think it's a control thing. Like it's one of the things you think you control, even though you don't really have control.
I never shared a room or a bathroom until I went to prison.
Yeah.
I had never had that experience. So then to go from not sharing anything
to sharing everything
to literally sharing everything.
Yeah.
Was
Did you make connections, friends in there that
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's like really, you know, I'm sure it's like they're in their men's prison. There's really genuine people. Mm-hmm. But women bring this emotional side to it. You know, you hear all these women's stories, you know, why they're there. And there's that empathy that you might not have known you had.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, you killed your husband? I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, like when you want to be, oh my God, you killed your husband. But then you hear this.
You hear the background story of how this all took place.
Right. And you're like, oh, this is really changing my perception of like,
much more open to understanding how people get to where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started getting close, Wendy, to getting close to the door to get out, what were your thoughts? Because you went in.
Don't anybody fuck this up for me. That's literally what I was thinking.
Isn't that the truth, though?
Yeah, like seriously, people will, you know, as you both have to know that people will sabotage you on purpose.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like,
some people sabotage themselves.
I was like seriously stayed away from everyone.
Yeah.
I was like, don't anybody come near me. Don't anybody. You could say
Just
something.
like they had COVID.
Right. It's like.
But you went in though, basically as a heroin addict on drugs. And you're coming out as somebody who ran the rec center.
And I came out 125 pounds lighter than when I went in.
Yeah, wow.
So I left in the clothes that I went in.
Probably looked like the kid from Big, you know.
I looked ridiculous walking out of that prison.
How did you feel? What was your thoughts? Like you were walking out of there 125 pounds lighter and you're not on drugs.
Yeah.
And your whole world is different, right?
Yeah,
where are you going?
Had home plan. My home plan was to a boyfriend's house, and I was there for 3 days, and then I decided to leave him after he had supported me the entire time I was in prison.
Was that something you'd been thinking that you were going to do?
It was more a lot about what Jordan talks about is like surrounding yourself with the right people.
Right people.
I couldn't be around the same people.
Because it would draw you back in.
I was like, that's
like, a big step, though. It's also a big tip. I mean, you have to get around the right people to get to where you want to be. Because if the wrong people, that's the one thing, too. If you're setting goals and you're trying to work your plan, if you're stepping away from what you were doing, those same people want to pull you back down because they're not making the positive steps. So
Right.
they like you a lot better where you are, not to see you succeed.
It was a lot of degradation when I got out.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like, well, you did this.
Yeah.
And, this is from
You're a bad person.
You're a bad person.
Yeah.
This is what you did.
Yeah.
How dare you ask for anything from any of us
Right.
after you've done all of this to us?
You're an ex-felon.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, I do want to go back to this bad lookout person.
Oh yeah, the bad lookout. Are you ready?
I'm back.
You
I'm
did
back, I'm
foreshadow.
back.
Are you ready for the lookout story?
Oh,
It's-
lookout.
Okay.
This is a good story.
So
I mean, it's not good, but it's good.
I kind of knew I wasn't.
How
a
long
good,
you been there when you become a bad
Not
lookout
long
person?
enough.
All right.
Not long enough. I'd kind of known while I was using drugs that I was a bad lookout because I was,
Yeah.
supposed to be
You're
watching.
supposed to learn how to do that.
I was, you're supposed to. I never learned. I never got the memo. So we're in. I'm in the rec room one day, not the rec room. I'm in the rotunda or the day room one day, and these two girls want to go into the shower, and I, the only person who's not doing anything, will you watch to make sure that no one comes in? Well, clearly, I have ADHD and should not be in charge of being the lookout because I forgot why I was even sitting in the chair.
Didn't even know why you were there.
I was like, why am I sitting in this
Seems
chair?
like an odd place to be sitting.
Sitting in this chair. Right. I've been sitting in this chair for like 45 minutes. Like, what is happening? So as I see the CO walk in, I quickly remember why I'm sitting in the chair and tried to get back to them faster, and I didn't make it. And as they were coming out, they were like, we'll see you in a month. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get beat up in a month. Definitely gonna get my ass whooped in a month. I laid real low for a long time.
So the fucking CEO caught the girls.
Caught the girls.
Because you was a
They're
bad
good at
lookout.
that.
Yeah.
But if you would have been a good lookout, they wouldn't have gotten
Right.
caught.
Did either of you eat cigarettes?
No.
I had to eat a cigarette so I didn't get caught smoking in the
Yeah.
bathroom, so I just ate it.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine eating a cigarette right now? Like, would you
No,
have
I
ever
couldn't
thought in a
possibly-
million years that
I
that's
couldn't
what
possibly
you would
think
I've
of
said
that.
that
capable
before,
of
like,
doing?
I've said like dragging your tongue through the ashtray to try to make somebody sick, like
Right.
when they've been drinking, to make them
Yeah.
not feel, but no. And the thing about at Leavenworth, they didn't allow smoking, but they allowed smoking. But the smoking that they allowed was the guys had to roll up, that tobacco, and they were smoking these things, and they burned their fingers and stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't have regular cigarettes. Like some prisons, they actually sell the cigarettes in the commissary. So.
Yeah, Vandalia, you got him out of the vending machine.
Yeah, see, it wasn't like that there. And then you could get a cop that didn't like it at all, and they'd, write you up, give you a shot.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't think you can smoke in prison now at all.
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
Maybe not. I mean, it's different.
Because it's federal.
I think it's
state.
all different with, there. I listen to Ear Hustle sometimes, and those guys I think are smoking in San Quentin.
Yeah.
But
That's my favorite podcast.
really good
next
one.
to this podcast.
Shit, that's my favorite
love
prison.
Erline and Nigel, and yeah, that's good stuff. So, Jordan, back to you now that you've gone to the bathroom and found your way back.
Yes, I found my way.
So, I'm interested in. Okay, so you get back into society.
Running.
What are you thinking? Like are you thinking I'm going to start my way? I'm going to build this world of music and.
So I meet a girl, had sex, got babies, and all this other shit. So now, while I'm in prison, like my mom already told me about the laws of attraction. Like, hey, if you could see it in your mind, you could hold it in your hand. Yeah. And so I'm in prison, and she's telling me this shit. I'm like, man, I mean, I see cigarettes in my fucking mind, but it's not in my fucking. Can you please send me money in my books? Mm-hmm. She's like, no, son, fuck you. I'm like, damn, wait, what? Shit, I'm just playing. I got you. So that eventually wind up working, and but that's one thing she tried to tell me was about the laws of attraction. You know, if you put out good energy will come back. You know, and so
did that change your life basically? I mean, is that how did your mindset change? Getting all that in? Yeah.
Yeah, it shifted like a motherfucker.
And was that happening while you were, were you midway through your sentence when this was going on? Were you getting close to the door? Like, when did your mindset get to the point, like, man, I see it, I can have it, I need to go get it?
I just got to hold it in my hand.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it was more or less towards like the last couple of years of my time, you know, because while I was in there, man, like I was hustling this shit, man. I was had a drawing, my hand was getting hurt. I'm like, man, shit, I got. Now that like the whole day for day sort of roll in, like a time off your back end is time that you're doing right now. So I'm like, okay, well, damn, like this shit is actually kind of working. I don't know if me doing the laws of attraction, my mom taught me that shit. Like now, all of a sudden, the whole Missouri's doing it because I want to get the hell out of prison, but it worked. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, shit, I can see me getting out of here. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm doing it. So now, while I'm in prison, I'm telling everybody, you know, because I'm already music. I was already rapping in prison. Yeah. You know, we have bands.
That almost gives you more street cred, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
be
know.
Be a rapper, but be a rapper from prison.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I mean,
you're on the street rapping. But he has the street cred of being in prison.
There's not a lot of female rappers in prison.
No.
No, it's not a.
No.
I don't know, man, but you know what? It worked for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what. It just worked for me. I just started thinking positive. I'm performing in prison. A lot of us actually performing in prison.
Yeah. Explain that.
You know, so you had some guys over here who was like the bartender, or not the bartender, the haircut guy, the barber.
Yeah, the barber.
And then you have the sweeper over here. You have the cigarette butt guys over there. And then you have this and this and that over there. And then you have the people who ran the band room. Yeah. So the people who ran the band room was the ones who issued out supplies for us to come in and rap. Yeah. But one thing about prison is that they say you can't rap about anything that you want to rap, but just don't make it too violent. Yeah. Because we're not trying to people, motherfuckers like rioting and shit. Yeah. Right. So I got me a little group together. Some guy over here played the drums. Another guy over here played the tambourines or whatever, the keyboard and shit. Yeah. So we wound up coming up with a tune. I was rapping, and so we would have contests, and then the people who won the most contests would get like the extra trick or treat or the extra Christmas bag. Yeah. Because every year in prison,
got a lot of candy and shit.
Yeah, like you would get.
You
that
don't
bag.
get those in women's prison.
Oh shit!
We got them over at the men's side. I wonder why they don't give them to the girls.
Why don't y'all come visit us then?
Those bags. I mean, there was a lot of trading going on.
Right, a whole lot.
No,
of trading.
We didn't get Christmas bags.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's kind of like what got me out.
Mm-hmm. So it's cool. I think that's and I want to talk about, because both of you really had a mindset shift. Because you have to, because we were talking about this earlier. 2/3 go back in 3 years, 3/4 go back in 5 years. So you've got to actually carry the weight of that and keep stepping through, because it's a heavy weight to get out and be an ex-felon. Wendy, can you walk me through? I mean, you Wash U, St. Louis U, you're carrying on. You know, you're educated. You're getting more educated. Can you walk me through how that's happened? And
how that happened? Sure. It's actually 100% because I was in prison. Mm-hmm. When I got out, I was court ordered to go to drug treatment for the 50,000th time. I was like, I've been clean for over a year. So I went to drug treatment.
Wendy's got a good radio voice, doesn't she?
Yeah, I told you. Like, you need to hire her, bro.
Does.
You need to hire her.
I'll make a cameo appearances every once in a while.
That'd be great.
Hey.
You do the intros.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll do it. So a lady came in one afternoon to talk about vocational rehabilitation.
Okay.
Are you both familiar with it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So she told me that I could go that they were going to pay for me to go to community college. Mm-hmm. I was like, sign me up. Yeah. Like, what else? You know, like, I'm a convicted felon. Yeah.
Give me some more education.
I'm going to drink whatever you're giving me.
Yeah. Like M&Ms.
Yeah. Like, I'm just going to take whatever I'm going to do every program that I can.
Yeah.
So,
which you would have never have.
I never would have done that. No, I never. So I got to go to community college for free. Right at the last semester before I was about to graduate from community college, I had ran into a professor at SLU in the social work department, and she was like, "Hey, come to school here. Okay. Like, I'll push your application through, blah, blah, blah.
Great.
We'd love to have you part of the program."
Awesome.
So I went in, my certificate.
And you barely knew this person. You must have made a hell of an impression.
I do.
Yeah.
I do that. So I, let's see here. So I went in with a minor in African American studies with my major in social work.
Wow.
Decided about halfway through my education that I hated social work.
Didn't want that.
I wanted no part of this. Yeah. And I knew that I knew that I was in such a fortunate place that I was like, I have to do something. I have to
that
do.
You're passionate about.
Yeah, I have to do something. I can't just do something because I want a job. I have to do something
Don't
that I'm
just
passionate
put a
about.
line or write something on a piece of paper and tell me that's what I'm going to do.
Right. I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
So I left this class. I hated social work. I left this particular class. I went down to my African American studies mentor and I said, I hate this. I hate social work. He goes, I know. I said, okay. He goes, so drop it. I said, I'm going to be an African American studies major. And he was like, I was like, I need a job. Like, there's no job there. And he goes, you'll make it just fine, Watson. I was the first white person to graduate from the African American Studies Department at SLU.
Wow. Hey, first.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
And then, you know, I still couldn't really get a job. So I decided I was going to apply to WashU. I was applied to WashU. It was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. I got to study things that only I wanted to study, and it wasn't about, you know.
What was your interest?
So my master's degree is in American culture studies with an emphasis in biblical studies.
Wow.
Specifically, I study fate and free will.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is a lot. Do you want to hear the name of my thesis?
I'd love to hear the name of your thesis.
Fate or free will, who cares? It doesn't matter. An exploration of fate, exploration of transcendentalism and the fall.
Wow. That's deep.
Thank you.
That is deep.
So yeah, I got to
love it.
Thank
I'm
you.
lost for words.
Thank you. But you know, like, but that goes back to like doing what you want to do for a passion.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get a job with this unless you're listening and you have a job very
Absolutely.
specifically for me, like as a librarian or in a museum somewhere. Please call.
You'd probably like to be in a librarian.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
You could be a phone sex operator. Look at your voice. Say it again.
I won't.
Oh,
So, Wendy, do you have an idea of what would be what you would like to do? I mean, you're all educated up.
I know, right?
right.
You know, I would love to work with ex-felons, ex-prisoners.
I think
That's my dream job.
And there's a grant for that.
And I know maybe some way. I will talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
Because there might be a way that you could do that.
Okay.
So, Jordan.
What's up?
You, man. Hey. Okay, I want to know how you get into the business of what you're doing. Because you weren't really in that when you went in.
I was trying.
You were trying, but then you come out with a whole new thing, man. If I can see it, I can have it. Bro, what did you start stepping into? How did you get it?
Bro, I got fucking Lambos, mansions, beautiful, beautiful women who model. Really good friends.
Yeah, check out Low Key with the dollar sign. Man, and you'll find and see that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a lot now.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot. You know, without having a lot.
And I can tell you're really enjoying it too. But what I think is cool about what you've done though is you've got like you've reached out and you've kind of put this whole world together. Can you kind of give us a little tips of the trade about how did you get all that going?
Laws of attraction.
So who did you reach out to? Who was it? People that you thought you admired? Was it people that you knew that might be of help to you? Like what were your first steps to get the momentum going?
No, it wasn't none of that shit. I didn't even know how to do it.
Yeah,
it wasn't none of that shit.
Okay.
So I started out like this, you know, coming in the world of a lot of. Honestly, there are so many band members out there. Every race doing everything, making all type of music, and then some of them they hire these PRs and these managers, and then you know they still wind up they don't even go nowhere still because they like, well, what is your budget? Give me more money. Give me more money. Give me more money.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have that route that a lot of people wind up paying for and losing money. Then their light bills get cut off. The girlfriend lose them. Kids are crying, so they can't afford shit because they put all their dreams and hopes into this one bucket of bullshit that the world wants you to think that you have to do, and you really don't. Because, and I'm going to show it, how I got my shit, broke as a bitch. I was broke as hell, man.
Desperate people can be creative.
That's where you got to think. And plus a prison mentality.
That's right.
You have to use your brain. Use your noggin.
They don't take your brain away.
Right, thank you. So I started, man. So when I got out, you know, I was working, of course. Just met this girl. I had sex with her. We had a kid. broke up because she wound up sleeping with her brother.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Wow.
That's a whole nother
That sounds
story.
like
But
a whole
anyway,
nother
right.
Netflix series.
Oof. Man. Anyway, so, I get back to the grind. So I'm over hustling, but I still don't have enough money to do nothing. So I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, I know I'm a rapper. That's my passion, growing from being a kid. So I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. Let me just get my cell phone out that I finally know how to use because it doesn't have buttons. You just touch this flat screen device.
Yeah.
And so I go to YouTube because now I found out that YouTube actually makes beats without people rapping on them. Because at first it was a record back in the day.
Yeah.
So now I'm on YouTube. I'm finding these beats, and I got my cell phone that I barely know how to use. And so I hit record, and I got the TV over here and YouTube, and so I'm putting both of them together, and I'm rapping.
Yeah.
So I put down music, like all the way down. And so I'm like, cool, like I got a cell phone full of music,
Kind of your own library.
Yeah, and so it's like now I got the option to do what I always wanted to do before I went to prison.
Yeah.
And so after that, one day I'm driving down downtown St. Louis, so they have the graffiti wall over there. And so I see this dude taking pictures of these models and all this other type of stuff. So I walk over to him like, hey, bro, hey, I'm a rapper. Look at me. Like, I'm a rapper. Can you please take a picture of me with your girls and all that? Like, what's your budget? I'm like, man, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell my first out of prison, but
Right.
I don't have money. So he's like, I tell you what, go on over there to the girls, man. Like, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, that you're low key money. You're a rapper, you're this and that. Like, go talk to them, like, because my budget's kind of how. But I will add you on Facebook, and even to this day, now he wants to take free pictures of me with models. Because he's a good guy.
He come all the way around.
Yeah, like he got to know me as being humble, and I would still check in on him, like see how he's doing and stuff like that. So long story short, I wound up going up to the models. I'm like, hey, now I feel I'm over like I'm the fucking shit. I am low key.
You are.
So I
You
walk
are
over
the
there.
shit.
Yeah, so I walk over to him. I'm like, hey, girls want to take some pictures with me? She's like, hell yeah,
Well,
dude.
sure.
Like, I love your dimples and like you're
We're back to the dimples. again.
like you're pretty cool and shit.
He can sing and rap.
Yeah, like, and so now this photographer that's over there like winding his camera up
Yeah.
and shit. Like he sees me talking to them. He's like, hey guys, can
Yeah.
I take a picture of
It's
you
my
guys
work.
over there? I'm like, yeah, come on. Yeah, I'm low key, bro. Nice to meet you. And, the girl's like, yeah, he's low key. Like, yeah. So I'm like, give me all you guys' Facebooks. You know what I'm saying? That we talk later.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
All the connections.
And after that, it's like, so now I got the model, I got this photographer. So now his friends are like adding me, and now because he wound up taking that picture of us and editing it and making like look so fucking pretty, and the pictures
Looking
are
like things
gorgeous.
are going on.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
am a fucking music artist, which
Yeah.
I am.
Just like that.
Yeah, and then so he sends it to
Perception's reality, right?
I swear, you gotta fake it till you make
That's
it.
right.
And so now his friends like send me friend requests. The girls are sending me friend requests, and then so now their friends and somewhere, and I don't know how this all happened in this matrix of a shit, but now I got exotic car guys like sending me friend requests and shit. And so they like, hey, bro, you got models? Like, I know you're a rapper and shit. Like, you're a black guy. I love that. Like, you're homies and shit. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I got models and shit. So I told my girls, like, hey, man, this guy, like, with inside the car, and I want to holler at you and shit. And so forth. So now I got the cars. I got the photographer. I got the
all the
models
connections.
and shit. So now I can do all that shit that I want. So now that's how I kind of put out my music videos and stuff like that. And then so some guys, I guess it was, I don't know which model it was.
But you got some stuff going on in those videos. You got fire. And people. I mean, it's like a movie.
Because it's like, you know what?
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
If you show somebody what you do, you get about 5 people over here that believe in you, and you have 20 over here that don't, and then talk all this shit about you. But then these people over here don't give a hell about these, because the world is split in half.
Yep.
You have non-believers and you have dream makers.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it worked. So the fire guys like hit me up like, hey, bro, like I would spend fire in your video and shit. Like I will eat
I
that
love what
shit.
you just said. You get the naysayers and you got the dream makers.
you know?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
That's a cool
and-
statement.
And so that's kind of like how it worked. And now I'm friends
You're making
with
my dream come true by being on a podcast right now.
there it is. And now, I'm friends with Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm friends with Twister. I'm friends with Top Models. I'm friends with this guy who owns Black Tape Carpet.
And you've made all these connections.
Yeah.
And you've just kept stepping into it. And I want to make sure that while we're talking about this, if you go to YouTube, it's low key money. So it's low key, one word, with the money sign.
Yeah.
And that's where you can pop up and you can see
all together.
You can see the good stuff.
Yeah, and that's Amazon, and that's any music outlaw.
Yeah,
or outline.
low key money,
Outlet.
but it's the
Outlet.
money sign. Don't spell money; just put the money sign down. Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, guys, this has been fun. I mean,
I like it.
It has. I mean, and you guys have only met each other a couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think I always think it's just good to get people together coming from all different backgrounds and stuff, but we have a common denominator. We're trying to get through after prison and make things happen.
Right.
And you guys have done that. And man, I don't really even know you guys that well, but I'm proud as hell of what you guys have done.
That's what's up.
Well, I really appreciate that.
Well, we're in the group chat, so just keep following me,
keep
man.
following.
Come on down to the video.
Well, I really appreciate that. I didn't have a lot of support coming out of prison, so the fact that I got to build all the support that I got,
and you met him,
has been just unbelievable.
And Wendy, I mean, you started from such a, I mean, when you told me all that stuff as we were talking, I mean, my God, and then you came out and you just stepped into the good stuff and took all the opportunities and made it work for yourself. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool.
That's what's up.
And Jordan, man, keep making the music and rapping, man. You got it going on.
Low key money.
My wife's listened to it. She said, "Wait, that guy's really good."
That's
said,
what's
yeah.
up, man. That's what's up. That's what's
So
up.
I'm gonna be talking to him. Makes
So-
me like 10% cooler, I guess.
So I tell you what. Before I guess we wrap this
Yes.
up. So here's my last project. So I got this video shooting at the mansion on the 29th of January.
Yes.
So this girl, she's a really good country singer, and
Yep.
she actually made it in, I think, top 3 in the United States.
Wow.
As like rookie people trying to make
Yeah.
it. She made top 3 in the United States.
Very cool.
And then so St. Louis started hearing about this shit, and so now she's gonna be on Fox 2. So she wound up reaching out to me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be on Fox 2 News. So I'm a country singer, but I kind of want to branch out, like doing the country music, and I want to bring a rap guy on it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do a song with me?" I'm
Cool.
like, "Well, girl, like
I love it when I collaborate like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm like,
it's gonna be a really great song.
I'm like, "Well, I tell you what, man, let me hear your music." And I heard it. I'm like, "Holy motherfucking shit!" Like, yeah,
She was
okay.
good.
So it's like this whole like Nelly and what is that song he came out? Nelly.
Oh,
I mean,
I know
he
what
did
you're
one
talking
with Tim McGraw,
yes,
and then he
it's
did
a
another
great song.
one.
Yeah,
He just
And
recently did another one.
I mean, the tops of the tops, and they won all the stuff. Yeah.
Rap music is getting into every genre.
Yeah,
So now
it's
I'm
very
finna,
cool.
I'm finna do the song with her, and then we're finna be on
When's
news.
that gonna be happening?
Well, I'm trying to do this music video now.
Yeah. I don't want to put any pressure on you, Jordan. Let's just say it's coming.
Low key money. But so as soon as I get done with this video, I'm already wrapping up the song with her. Like, that's why I'm always so damn busy. Like, you text
And
me,
you're
hey,
always
man, come
making
on down
connections. I love what that is,
Yeah.
Jordan. Is that you've gotten out, and because you've got that mindset, laws of attraction, you are taking it, and if you see it, you go get it. And man, there's a formula to that. I love it. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening today. Nightmare Success in and out. Hey, if you're still looking for a book to read, Nightmare Success, you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Jordan, Wendy,
Hey, low key money.
Nightmare
Thank
Success
you.
in and out. Thank you.